All right, guys, Bogen 10. We are back. It is week 4, rather going into week 5, but we have the week 4 top 10 power rankings. We're going to go right off the bat. Before we get into it, be sure to subscribe, comment, and leave a like if you do enjoy this video. Now let's get into it. Number 10, I have the 3-1 Carolina Panthers coming off an 8-point loss against the Dallas Cowboys on the road. Things weren't the best for them. They did lose J.C. Horn for potentially this season. They went out and got C.J. Henderson via trade. Love the trade acquisition. Unfortunately, he's not going to really help much right off the bat. Has to learn that defense. You saw some great things out of Sam Darnold, but the tail of the tape shows that really this is a third quarter that lost them this game. They imploded in the third quarter. They came back in the fourth, all for naught at the end of the day. They fall to 3-1, but they stay in my power rankings. They drop from 6 to 10. Moving on, we have number 9, the same team that beat them, the Dallas Cowboys, were not in my rankings last week, although I very much considered them. And they're going to come up to number 9 here, 3-1. Look, they're playing great football. Dan Quinn has them playing very stout defensively. And, I think this is a team, despite losing Michael Gallup to an injury, despite, Dak Prescott coming off of injury and returning, there really hasn't been a hitch to their step. They've gotten some really good contribution out of Ezekiel Elliott as well as Tony Pollard. And then, of course, when you look at that defense, they were just able to release Jalen Smith without really even having any issue with it because everyone else is doing so well, including the rookie Micah Parsons. Moving on, number 8 is the Green Bay Packers. They were 10 last week. They jump up to 8 on my board here. They're 3-1 as well. You take away the horrible loss to the New Orleans Saints as they did, and really now they're on a 3-game winning streak. They just beat the Steelers. They destroyed the Lions, coming back and really outplaying them the rest of the way. They've had these games in now 3 straight times, and they were able to shut down the 49ers when push came to shove at the end of the game. So they are now 3-1. They're playing good football. That Randall Cobb and Aaron Rodgers connection is finally back. He scored 2 touchdowns in this one. This is a team to watch out for, although they will be without Jair Alexander, who suffered a significant injury in this one. They're at 8. Number 7, we have the Las Vegas Raiders, who are 3-1 as well. A lot of 3-1 teams here. Look, the Vegas Raiders, they fall from the 4th spot to the 7th spot because they lost 28-14 against the Los Angeles Chargers on the road. Some would even say it's potentially a home game since there's such a huge fan base for the Raiders in Los Angeles. But the fact of the matter is I still think this team is top 10. I still think John Gruden has this team going the right direction. They got to start running the football a little bit more with Kenyon Drake. He did not see really anything in the run game. They've been using him exclusively as a receiving back. But credit to Brandon Staley and that Chargers defense. They really stifled a red-hot Raiders team, and they fall there at 7. Moving on, number 6. This team, they lost early on in the season to the Steelers, but since they have not only beat teams, they have destroyed them. And this week was no different, going up against the Houston Texans. They ended up taking Houston down 40-0. They move up from my 8th spot to my 6th spot. They're there at 6. Number 5, the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, look, the Chargers were at 7 last week. They move up 2 spots. This is a convincing win for me. They really outplayed the Raiders 28-14. Brandon Staley has that defense playing well. The offense is playing well. They can run the football. They can throw the football. And a lot of that is credit to not only Justin Herbert, but going out and getting Corey Linsley in the offseason at center and going out and drafting Rashawn Slater at left tackle. They're at 5. Number 4, the Baltimore Ravens, who took an undefeated team on the road. They went to Denver, tough place to play, and they won 23-7. They move up from their 5th spot last week. Lamar Jackson didn't have his best game, and nor was I expecting him to. He's been dealing with a little bit of a hip, and on top of that, an illness. And so I think when you look at this Ravens team, this was a very hard-fought win, and to win 23-7 on the road, anytime you do that in the NFL, it is impressive. But when you do it against a team that's undefeated, that says a lot. Baltimore here at number 4. Number 3, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, they won, but they do drop in my power rankings. They were 2 last week. They dropped to 3. They did beat Mac Jones and the Patriots on the road on Sunday Night Football in the freezing cold rain, so to speak. But let's call it like it is. The reason they drop here, I do think that, the Patriots were obviously a field goal away from making that, in the freezing cold, the rain and the wind and everything. Nick Folk pushed it to the left. Now, they are playing solid football, but for the most part, you hope to see them get better. And I think really the issue is they're just dealing with a lot of injuries. Carlton Davis went down. Of course, Sean Murphy-Bunting has an injury. Jamel Dean. They are just injured everywhere to the point where Richard Sherman got off his couch and really started this one. So we will see, but they do fall because the Rams now are going to be here at number 2 after dropping to the Arizona Cardinals. Look, I still think the Rams are probably, when it's all said and done, the best team, but this is a power ranking. I'm not going to put the Rams number 1 after they lost very convincingly, I might add, to the Arizona Cardinals. I think the Rams, obviously, they had a bad game, poor execution in the scheme, but on top of that, I wasn't really a huge fan of the game plan. Felt like they really should have, contained Kyler Murray instead of going as aggressively at him as they did, with of course, the blitzing and what have you. But the bend don't break at the same time. So while you're blitzing at that time, he's still running by your guys, and then you're playing bend don't break. So he has all these guys to throw to. You're playing that soft zone coverage. Kyler Murray's going to dial it up and get you every time, and that's what happened. Other teams may not have won that game. There's about 20 teams I think the Rams probably beat, even though they didn't play very well, but the Cardinals are not one of them, and Kyler Murray's one of those guys where he will take your miscues and turn them into straight daggers. That's what happened in that 37-20 beatdown of the Rams on the road, and now the Cardinals are number 1. The Cardinals, to me, they're playing the hottest football. Their defense is looking very good. The one thing, though, and this is a caveat, is that they really can be run on. And I think the Rams let teams know that, look, this Cardinals team is legit, and they won. Vance Joseph's run defense is going to struggle against pretty much any running game. And that's the thing, moving forward, if you want to beat the Cardinals, you're going to have to run the football like crazy, and you're going to have to keep Kyler Murray off the field. But that's going to do it for your top 10. Once again, Carolina Panthers at 10, Dallas Cowboys at 9, Green Bay Packers at 8. At 7, you have the Las Vegas Raiders. At 6, you have the Buffalo Bills. At 5, you have the Los Angeles Chargers. At 4, the Baltimore Ravens. At 3, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. At 2, Los Angeles Rams. And number 1, the Arizona Cardinals. Thank you guys, as always, for each week checking in on the Bogen 10. I'm Jake Ellenbogen, and this has been the Bogen 10.